Shalom, Kol Haloyim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, so I want to watch this video from this dude, Aaron Parnas, and also another one from Trump. We're going to get into what they're saying, because basically these are things we should be looking out for as it relates to prophecy. But this is pretty interesting. If this Insurrection Act passes, then the times could get pretty wild pretty fast. So just things we should be looking out for. So let's check this out, and then we'll grab some prophecies, or some scriptures rather.
Some major news right now. Conversations within the White House are escalating to possibly invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807 in America, on American soil soon. According to NBC News, conversations have shifted to a more serious tone now to possibly invoke the Insurrection Act at some point in the near future. It's not imminent yet, but what this means is essentially the Trump administration may want to give the power of law enforcement activities to the United States military on U.S. soil, but essentially would allow the United States military to conduct searches and seizures and to conduct arrests of American citizens during protests and elsewhere. It also comes in advance, 10 days, this conversation is happening about 10 days before the October 18th No King's Day protests, which are scheduled to be some of the largest in American history. So the timing in a lot of ways is not a huge coincidence. In any event, I'll provide you more updates as we get them, but there is serious conversations happening right now within the White House, so follow along for all the news you need to know about. If you want to support my work, subscribe to my Substack, linked in bio.
Yeah, so the Trump administration is currently having conversations to evoke the Insurrection Act, I think he said of 1807, which basically puts the military in control of any illegal activity on U.S. soil. So they can do search and seizures probably whenever they want. And then also they can arrest citizens for protests. So very, very interesting that they're having this conversation right now. We'll see if this law passes. But let's check out what Trump is about to say right now.
We've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. They've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts. This is what they do, is they incite. When you burn an American flag, you incite tremendous violence. We have many examples of it, many examples of it, and it's actually down on tape, and you see things happen that just don't happen unless it's the flag that's burning.
Yeah, let's listen to that again. And of course, the very, very beginning part of what he said.
We've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the
1 year penalty for inciting riots. We made it a 1 year penalty for inciting riots.
Freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court.
And we took the freedom of speech away. That's what he's saying. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that when it comes to burning the American flag during protests, his administration took the freedom of speech away, even though the U.S. Supreme Court ruled nearly 4 decades ago that flag burning is protected by the First Amendment. Blase. Let's see. During his remarks, Trump referenced his August executive order that seeks to prosecute those who incite violence, and this is the part I wanted, or otherwise violate our laws while desecrating this symbol of our country to the fullest extent permissible under any available authority according to the text of the order. Now, why am I bringing this out? Because at the same time that the Trump administration is thinking about evoking that Insurrection Act, now he's coming out and he's saying, look, he's referencing freedom of speech. And he was talking about the flag, but in general, he's using that phrase. We're taking away freedom of speech, and then we're prosecuting anybody that's inciting violence. So anything that you say, if you're out there, if you're talking and you're inciting violence, you're inciting people to feel like that they can probably uprise against the government, just whatever they deem to be violent, then they can lock you up just for the things that you say. Just for the things that you say. And obviously, now we're bringing these things back full circle to the scriptures. There's going to come a day, and you have to remember the higher picture. You have to keep the bigger, not higher, rather the bigger picture in mind. Esau just wants his blessing back, and he's going to disguise that under all these different minuscule ideas and projections that he puts out there to the public. Oh, we have to close our borders, protect our borders. We have to get these illegal migrants out of here. Oh, and they're inciting violence. They're saying this, they're burning the flag. So they're using all these things. But the bigger picture is this man wants his blessing. And that means that he needs to come down on the prophets, because we're the ones that's talking about his kingdom falling. His place is crumbling and going down. It's not going to be ever inhabited again. That's a message, that's a threat to these higher ups. So these laws are really being invoked to come against us, our word, and the things that we're saying, which is really the Most High's word. So this prophecy is going to come to pass and play out in our lifetime. This is Amos 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. That will come, especially if certain things like this Insurrection Act is evoked and he does whatever else he needs to do. More agents on the streets and it gets bad. Oh yeah, we're not going to be there anymore. And you have to prepare yourself to, really for anything as a prophet. If certain laws get passed and you and a brother or two, whoever, you guys get locked up for this word, so be it. You got to remain faithful. We have many, many examples of just that. And that's our job. That's why we bring out this information, because we're talking about realistic scenarios here. We're not making things up. We're not just guessing. These are laws that the Trump administration is actually considering, and then we're reading scriptures to let you know this is what's coming down the pipe. So a famine of the word will come, and we're not going to be out there teaching on the street corners forever, nor do we want to be. We need prophecies to play out so that we can get closer to Yahweh Shai returning and us receiving deliverance, salvation. Now, let's throw that away. This is 2 Ezra 5. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself. Then shall wit hide itself, meaning wisdom, which is found on the streets, through the Lord's men. It's not going to be as easily accessible anymore. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into her secret chamber, and shall be sought of many. Wisdom, this knowledge of what's happening and what to do, is going to be sought of many at a time when it's not available anymore. Because right now, liberty has been granted, right? There is mercy, there is grace. We're in this grace period, but a lot of people aren't going to take advantage of it. And that's why it says, wisdom shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. And I'm going to grab one last precept in the book of Revelation, keeping this nice and short and sweet, just trying to hit the main 2 points. The first one that I mentioned, 3 and 10, no, must be 2 and 10. Revelation 2 and 10 says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, right? Meaning Thou shalt, meaning thou will, you will suffer. Behold, the devil, this is talking about Esau, Edom, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. That's all it is. And our job is to remember that. It's just a trial. The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, meaning a certain period of time. But this is our job right here. If one of us are put in this situation for preaching this word, it says, be thou faithful unto death, meaning whatever your end is, whether you are put to death for this word or whether you get delivered from prison, whatever your end is, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, as it's written in Sirach 4:28, right? Same exact thing. Be thou faithful unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Roughly paraphrasing, but that's it. I just wanted to bring out these prophecies concerning those two videos that we watched. Once again, our job is just to report on these things and let you know how it relates to prophecy. Continue to stay faithful and stay circumspect in these last days. Call Haloyim Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Lachakudash. Shalom to the elect.